Khan Shalom Akim. As always, Kahala Imlai, Haba Shimi Ashaba, Sharon Hakodash, and double honest to the great Muslim apostles. This is pretty much after camp video, after camp, and obviously another lesson. But rather at the same time, it's also a separate lesson too. But yeah, the topic really is, the joke will be flipped on them. Because sometimes as brothers are preaching out there or making videos, and of course you got sometimes you got family members watching those videos, you got friends of the world that are watching those videos too. The thing is, at times they'll probably take it as a joke. So hence why, as the scriptures say, we're fools for your house, shall I say. Hence why as we're in this appearance of being a fool, the thing is, although we may be in this appearance for the time being, the thing is, we won't be a joke forever. It won't be taken for as a joke forever as well. So, as the topic goes, it says the joke will be flipped on them, because they'll then realize what we've been saying for a very long time now about the fact that they're Israelites. They're supposed to be serving Yahweh Shem Yahshua. They be serving idols, because most Jakes right now they're worshipping idols. In Christianity, you got Islam as well, because those are the main two. Those are the main two that Jake is flocked into that form of idolatry, which Yahweh Shem Yahshua is angry with. Anyways, let me get the Proverbs 1 verse 26. Yeah, let me get Proverbs 1 verse 26. It says, I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. So obviously when the time comes where judgment is going to be at an all-time high, Jacob's trouble, things Yahweh Shem Yahshua, they're going to be laughing in the heavens, man. The Most High himself is going to be laughing. That's the thing. It says, I will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. And let me search the definition of calamity. I feel like great trouble or something. And let me search out right now. I will laugh at your calamity. So lucky, I'm just trying to search out. So, the definition of calamity, as it says here, it says an event causing great or often sudden damage or distress, a disaster. So, great calamity says an event causing great and often sudden damage or distress. Sudden damage or distress. So, of course, that's all about Jacob's trouble right there, man. Because, you're going to have all sorts of things that are going to be happening that are going to shock people, which Jake isn't going to expect. So, again, it says Yahweh Shem Yahshua, Yahweh will laugh at their calamity in the time to come. So, the same way as it mentioned there in Proverbs 1 verse 26, when your fear cometh, so when Jake's really going to be like, you're going to be shivering, when Jacob's trouble happens, and it'll be like, no. They wouldn't know what to do, basically, because of the fear that they had, the fearful state that they're in. And it's not the fear towards Yahweh Shem Yahshua, or else they'll be safe if they had the fear of Yahweh Shem Yahshua straight up. The thing is, it's the fear of all the judgments that Yahweh Shem Yahshua is going to bring upon this earth. That's why they're going to be trembling and shivering, and that's when Yahweh Shem Yahshua is going to be laughing. So let me get another precept based on that same laughter, Let me read another verse after that. It says in Proverbs 1 verse 27, the verse after 26, it says here, it's just an advert, because some of the Bibles that are used, they have adverts in there. Now this is Proverbs 1 verse 27. It says, when your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you. It says verse 28, then they shall call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. So of course, Jake Because right now, through the prophets of Yahweh Shimei Ashai, that's how Yahweh Shimei Ashai is really calling Jake, man. It's like, come back to him. You gotta come back to him. You know, as the prophets are out here in the Howard Zambara is preaching. Well, Jake don't want to take it seriously. They don't want to take Yahweh Shimei Ashai seriously. Their own power, who looks like them, same complexion, they don't want to take seriously. They want to take an idol seriously. Cesare, I think his name is Cesare Borgia. Yeah, man, they want to take that guy seriously. They want to take a false idol seriously. It's a done out case. Jake's just unserious in the world right now. Yeah, let me get Psalms 2 verse 4. This might be a short video, I'm not sure. But you know, obviously Yahweh Shimei Ashai's will be done then. Alright. Psalms 2 verse 4. I know right now, obviously, as brothers know in the UK and the news, you know, certain regions they got this hose pipe banned, which means they're not allowed to use water for a certain period of time because of the heat. We know with Esau's weaponry, you know, with his heat beams, you know, the brothers that know, the thing is with his heat beams, you know, he can pretty much be, I'm not saying that he can, obviously he's got his weather control machines as well. Obviously for you brothers who've seen those videos, you know, you just search up on BitChute or Odyssey, alternate platforms, that's where you see those type of videos. But then, you know, Esau still got his heat beam as well, where he can cause those fires. You know, all he needs to do is just concentrate that heat to one area, then boom, a fire's already started. And of course it's all towards his agenda, man. That's the thing, it's all towards his agenda. And of course it's all going to end up with everything in subjection to Esau. That's what he sees, to be as the Most High. In fact, speaking of the Most High, speaking of Esau being as the Most High, I think I remember the precept, it should be here. Cool. So it says in Isaiah 14 verse 13, wait, let me read a verse. Yeah, let me read a verse up first. Isaiah 14 verse 13, for thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven, I will exalt my throne above the stars of gods, I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. This is Esau speaking here really. It says, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds and I will be like the Most High. That's what Esau desires, man. To be like the Most High, that's the thing. So of course in that time to come, not even in that time to come, we're already in that time. Esau's going to be in that position where he wants to have full out control of the people, you know, enslave them fully, putting their chip in their body, in their arm, in their hands, in their brain. You know, you got the new Synchron chip. I might even edit this video as well. I might edit it. Yeah, I'm watching me on Sharat as well. Just find a few clips, you know, and run it around as I'm talking as well. Oh, yeah, but yeah, all by the Spirit, we'll see. But the thing is, the point being is, Esau wants to have that control, man, because right now, you know, you got that Synchron chip. So it's like some kind of a competitor to Neuralink, which is an Elon Musk company. They're trying to put a chip in the brain. And here's the way they're doing it. It's like a pacemaker. Where no. I think it's called a stent. Where it goes through the arteries. Yeah, I'll play the video. I'll watch me on Sharatas. I should have saved it on YouTube. But yeah, the point is they put a stent through. It's the same way they're trying to install a stent in the heart or an artery. The stent is like this type of tube type of metal, of which it's very small. But it goes through, it's like a wiring tube type metal. A wiring tube type of metal, like a mesh or something. But Yahweh Shimei Ashai, I'll edit the video, then I'll show you a clip of it. So it's this type of little mesh. It's like a little mesh, little metal mesh basically. And obviously this little mesh, they then push it through the artery for probably people who have blocked arteries basically. Then that's what they do for it too. So what I was gonna say is that the same way they do it in the artery is the same way they're gonna do that with the brain neurons as well. This company called Synchron, I found out from the brother, then brother Zebulon Warrior. Then of course after that, the thing is I got recommended the video as well. So I was like, okay, let me watch this.
That worked exceptionally well and solved a problem that was inherent with the previous design. The concept behind the brain-computer interface is pretty simple. Your brain is essentially just a ball of soggy electric meat, and it controls the rest of your body by generating specific electrical signals and then firing them out through your nerves and into your organs and muscles. Those electric pulses are like the programming language of the human body. Your brain is sending command prompts through your spinal cord, but sometimes that connection between the brain and body gets broken, either by a physical injury or degenerative disease. So BCI can function like a bridge for those electrical signals to bypass the broken connection. Existing BCI technology can be split into two philosophies: invasive and non-invasive. You've probably seen non-invasive BCIs. It's like a weird hat with a ton of electrode sensors all over it. This can read the electrical signals from the brain, but it doesn't do a very good job. There's an entire skull in between the sensors and the neurons, so it's no surprise that it isn't very effective. It's like trying to listen to a concert from outside the arena. You might get the thump of the bass notes, but you won't hear the vocals. So, to get a good connection to the brain, we need to go invasive with our BCI, and that's where things get gruesome. So, now we enter the next generation of BCI technology, currently being led by startup companies like Neuralink and Synchron. Like we said off the top, Synchron is the first to reach full human trials. They initially began testing in Australia with a group of 4 patients receiving their BCI implant. Apparently, Australia has looser regulations about what you can put into people's brains, and just last year, Synchron was given the go-ahead by the FDA to commence human testing in the United States. The first US patient just received their Stentrode implant and will be the first of 6 people involved in a $10 million study funded by the National Institutes of Health. To understand why Synchron crossed the threshold before Neuralink, we can look at the design of their implant. The Stentrode is named after a common medical device called a stent. This is just a long, thin, flexible tube that doctors can insert into a patient's blood vessel. Stents are used all the time for a number of procedures, mostly involving the heart. If you have a blocked or narrowed artery, the doctor will insert a stent tube to hold it open for you so that blood can flow and you don't have a heart attack. So, the Stentrode is actually what it sounds like, a stent combined with a cluster of electrodes. The Synchron procedure is to insert the stent with a catheter into the patient's jugular vein and run it all the way up into a blood vessel that is nestled within the motor cortex of the brain. When they pull back the catheter tube, the hollow wire mesh of the Stentrode will expand out and interface with the walls of the blood vessel, and the wire at the other end of the Stentrode is connected into a very small computer device that is implanted inside the patient's chest cavity. If this sounds at all familiar, that's just because this is virtually the exact same procedure as implanting a pacemaker. They're just running the wire into the brain instead of into the heart. The implanted computer device will then connect with the rest of the system via Bluetooth, either paired to a computer or even just a smartphone. The beauty of the Synchron procedure is that there will be nothing sticking out of the person. There will be no visible sign that they have an implant in their brain. The system can be used anywhere. The surgery can be done in any hospital setting in just a couple of hours, and most importantly, there is no need to open the person's skull or damage their brain tissue. The first patient to receive Stentrode in America is a person suffering from ALS, who has no ability to move their body or even speak. Thanks to the Synchron device, this person is now able to use a computer and communicate by text just by thinking. The only downside to the Synchron is that it is only inside a blood vessel that runs through the brain. The electrode is not actually inside the cortex tissue and physically interfacing with the neurons. so the signal coming through the stench road is limited. It can't match the bandwidth of the Utah array. So Synchron is definitely solving many problems, but they're still not creating a whole solution.
And I found out, okay, cool, so this is the way it works then. Because Neuralink is literally like a chip that I think is going to be installed. Obviously, they've got wires inside the heads. Then they got that that circular chip that's going to stand out in the heads. Then she's going to be like that type of emitter as well. If you don't know, man, that could be the chip right there. Or, you know, Esau Edom, he flipping reveal another type of chip that's going to shock people. That's going to be far more advanced than what people think. But obviously, it's a chip as we know it is. The same way, you know, that microchip to come as well is going to be used for money payments as well. You know, that time is coming very close. Very, very close. So, yeah, so that's Esau right there, man. Isaiah 14 verse 14. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. And that's what it's trying to do, man, you know. With his aim to flipping, you know, go outside of Earth. Well, to explore the universe as he desires, you know, as Elon Musk saying that by 2024 he's going to try to go to Mars. Yeah, but Shimi Ashara to Zod that he ain't able to do that nonsense. And even if they were, there'd probably be some kind of Hollywood type of deception going on there. Because, you know, Yahba Shimi Ashara is restricting those planets for not just Mars and all these other planets, but far more planets that we don't know of for the elect to come. Yahba Shimi Ashara to Zod. So of course, we know that we got to prepare our minds for that kingdom, and Yahweh will be worthy of those plans, because those are going to be the mansions that are mentioned in John 15, which I think I'll get right now. Right. Where's Psalms? Actually, not Psalms. It's in John, isn't it? Yeah. I think it's John 15. So lucky, it should be in John 15. Wait. Yeah, oh, that's the other one. The one that talks about, you know, in my father's house are many mansions. I might have to search that up. Alright, cool. Yeah, I'll search up. Anyways, Jake out here doing what Jake be doing, man, you know, worldly stuff. The issue over there. Anyways, let me actually search up Salakia. Right. Okay. The joke will be flipped on them, man. So they're persevering, man. Being in this kingdom, the joke's gonna be flipped on them. When the time comes where all the judgments will be saying, the famine, the pestilence that will be saying that's gonna happen, they're gonna see it happen, and they're gonna experience it happen as well. They're gonna experience it firsthand. And when they experience it firsthand, that's when that laughter is gonna begin. And not everyone's going to be able to laugh in that time, man. Obviously, Yahweh Shimi Ashai will place his grace upon who he wills. And obviously, grace meaning who he favors. So whoever Yahweh Shimi Ashai favors, that's what he's going to do. That's what he's going to... that's who he's going to favor, basically. That's who's going to actually be able to laugh. So, so I was going to search the scripture, John. Many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. Yahushua would have told us if there weren't many mansions, man. and those are the planets. So this is John 14 verse 2. Yeah, it was John 14. Oh, it wasn't John 15, but John 14 verse 2 says, "In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you." So of course the thing is, with these many mansions, man, why would he allow Esau Eden to flip and tamper with them? That's gonna be a brother's house right there, you know. That's gonna be a brother's house. Like, you can't be allowing Esau to flip and expand and explore the universe when it's not made for him to explore. That's the thing. So yeah, man. Anyway, so that's the point right there. Those mansions right there are prepared for the elect of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. So that's when, you know, Jake gonna be taken seriously. I know that's gonna be the resting phase of Jake. Not even phase. That's gonna be the eternal rest of Jake, man. Going from planet to planet, you know, building palaces. But yeah, that's when, obviously referring to the previous camp video about the fact that, you know, the way Israel is disrespected right now. And what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, what type of response you expect? Because I was thinking of the fact that, you know, Finn brothers are gonna be fueled, man, in that day, fueled with rage because of the fact that no one listened to them, and then all those people who have mocked them, you know, treated them so badly with disrespect, caused them pain and frustration, obviously with all forms of wickedness that's been done upon them, that they've, you know, they've stored in their minds. Obviously Yahweh Shem Yashara to Zon, that time to come and the spiritual power comes. It says that people shall be willing in the day of thy power. So obviously that day they're going to be willing. And that day they're going to be willing, man. They're going to be willing to listen to them then. But obviously by that time it's probably going to be too late, man. You're going to be very fortunate if you're even allowed to basically hear the words of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, because, you know, Octane is still going to be preaching as much as they can. Obviously the ones that aren't in prison, of course. But yeah, man, obviously however the situation be, Yahweh says, oh, we just bring out the word, man. That's the priority until the end. Alright. So let me get another one. Isaiah 66 verse 4. Isaiah 66 verse 4. Yeah, let me get it, Salaki. I also will choose their delusions and will bring their fears upon them. Salaki, this is Isaiah 66 verse 4. I will choose their delusions and will bring their fears upon them, because when I called, none did answer. When I spake, they did not hear, but they did evil before mine eyes, and chose that in which I delighted not. So of course they chose the things of which was in the delight of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And of course when he called them, they didn't listen. So of course that's why Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is going to place delusions in their minds for them to believe. That's why 2/3 can't flip in remove themselves from this Christianity and Islam, man. Such a strong delusion, bro. Anyways, let me get on. So that's why the joke's going to be flipped on them, man. You know, they'll be under a delusion for time, for a very long time. But anyways, that's the point proven right there, man. That Yahweh Shem Yahushai is going to put their fears upon them too. So that also choose their delusions, I will bring their fears upon them, because they have called and none did answer. Wait, because when I called, none did answer. So come on, that's the point right there. That I was going to bring their fears upon them, and that fear is going to come again in Jacob's trouble. Which, let me reference it in Jeremiah 16, I think. Or maybe it's in 17. Wait. What in the world? So many ants, man. So look here, let me get on. So look here. So yeah, I was getting Jacob's trouble in it. Yeah, so look here, let me get it. They're gonna realize it, man. They are going to realize it. Taking us for a joke. Man, that day, man. Yeah, Bashim Yasha's gonna be laughing at their calamity. Imagine flipping seeing the Jake that was, mocking you, laughing, shaking their heads at you. You just see a dead body. Or him going through some kind of a pestilence. And let's say he don't even notice you. Imagine that. Because Yahweh Shem Yahshua can also do that too, He can make you see their judgment. Now, let's get Jacob's trouble. I may have already had it there. Jacob trouble. Okay. If you see me looking around, it's because there's either a dog around me or some kind of a pet or something, or ants. But yeah. Anyways, let me look for it. Should be here. Yeah, Jeremiah 30 verse 7 says, "Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even a time of Jacob's trouble. But he shall be saved out of it." And not every Israelite is going to be saved out of Jacob's trouble. Only those of which Yahweh Shem Yahshua has his grace upon. So in that time to come, the thing is, he's going to have them saved out of Jacob's trouble. Which is really the main understanding of that scripture right there. Right. Now let me get my next one. Thessalonians 2 verse 9.
Yeah, come here. You're not listening to your eyes, so you go home now.
So actually, that's the one. Oh, that's the one. So lucky, because Isaiah 66 verse 4 about the delusions. We've got another precept based on that too. Alright, so 2 Thessalonians 2 verse 11 says, "And for this cause Yahweh, the Most High, shall send them strong delusion that they should believe a lie." So again, going into the fact that, they believe in this Christianity bullshit. What else? Islam, as I said, them two right there that I just mentioned, Islam, Christianity, those are the ones which Jake actually flocks to. The two idols that Jake flocks to, man. The two idols Israelites actually go to and are too bonded to, that they believe the lie, they love the delusion. That's the thing. That ain't your power, man. That's an idol. See, how about Shem Yahshua, that's your real power, but they don't get that. Right, so let me get the next one too. Proverbs 12. Alright, so Proverbs 12. Proverbs 12 verse 15. "The way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but he that hearkeneth unto counsel is wise." The reason why I brought out that precept as well is because these 2/3, or these Israelites, potential 2/3, most of them are really just 2/3 anyways. The reason why I say potential 2/3 because obviously we don't really know until obviously it's clear at times it's actually clear if he's a 2/3 or not. By the time, sometimes, you know, you may have those jakes who may listen to you at camp, or who may listen to the videos that you know of. But of course, the thing is, though they listen, it don't mean that they're certified to be part of the elect, though. It all depends on the progress. Even if they do make a significant amount of progress within the truth, it don't mean that they're part of the elect either as well. So at times, you know, that's why I may say the term potential 2/3, because, you know, we never know when which jake might be flipped over, and then, you know, might start going hard on the truth in terms of preaching and doing the works of Yahweh Shem Yahshua. But the point is, most of them are 2/3, and the things, this is the way of which they think. He says the way of the fool is right in his own eyes. So of course they think that their ways are actually good and are correct. The worldly ways are correct. No, they're not correct, and they're gonna find that out soon too. They're gonna find that out soon, very soon as well. They're gonna find that out real soon, man. Real soon. In fact, COVID was just a taste of it. If we're being real, COVID was just a taster. But they're gonna find it out real soon, man. As I said, well, I didn't say it in this video, but in other videos, imagine a blackout that lasts months or even 1 year. Just not even just 1 year. Let's just say a month. How would Jake actually go through this? Because they're so reliant upon the system. I mean, what can you do? You know, we put our faith in Yahweh Shem Yahshua, and then that's when the times of miracles are going to be coming. But not all Jakes actually believe in that. Even the flipping Christians that call themselves Christians don't believe that they're going to be they're going to experience miracles in the time to come as well. And that's folly, man. That's folly. That's a lack of faith right there. So Proverbs 12 verse 15, as it says here, the way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but he that hearkeneth unto counsel is wise. That's the main point right there, man. That's the main point. So let me get one more, actually 2 more, and then, you know, we'll probably close out soon. Proverbs 14 verse 8. Proverbs 14. You know what? Wait. You know, I might even read from between verses 8 and verse 12. So as it says here, Proverbs 14 verse 8, it says, the wisdom of the prudent is to understand his way, but folly of fools is deceit, meaning deception. So let me actually search out what deceit means. Yeah. Let me search out what deceit means. Let's take this sip of water first. So, Proverbs 14. Actually, Salaki, yeah, I was searching out what the definition of deceit. Definition of deceit. Right. It says the action or practice of deceiving someone by concealing or misrepresenting the truth. So again, that goes into deception right there. Misrepresenting the truth. The action or practice or deceiving someone by concealing or misrepresenting the truth. Now, going back to that scripture right there, you know, the prudent understandeth his own way. It says in Proverbs 14 verse 8, the wisdom of the prudent is to understand his way, but the folly of fools is deceit. Which means obviously the foolishness of fools is basically the way of deception, man. As I said, going back to the delusions as well, that's pretty much the way of a fool. They don't even flip and realize it, because obviously that's what they believe. So many. You know what, Salakia, let me actually get some presets and then I'll close out, because this place is packing with ants, man. I have to stand up a little bit. Anyways, so next precept says, fools make a mock at sin, but among the righteous there is favor. And that's referring to verse 9 of Proverbs chapter 14. So it says, the heart knoweth his own bitterness. So look here, let me slow down. Fools make a mock at sin, but among the righteous there is favor. So of course, going back to the grace of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua being placed upon his elect, upon those who he will. That's basically saying that, you know, those who fear Yahweh Hashem Yahushua and are his servants shouldn't fear the upcoming calamities to come as well. But though we should actually fear Yahweh Hashem Yahushua so that we don't get caught up in those calamities. Not trying to do that nonsense. Not trying to be part of that judgment. So the heart knoweth his own bitten. Well, actually no, not that one. This is Proverbs 14 verse 12. There is a way which seemeth right unto man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. So obviously you may think that, you know, just by the world standards, that the things you're good, but then you gotta realize that the world isn't righteous according to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. That's the thing. As it says here, there's a way that which seemeth right unto a man. So obviously most individuals think that, you know, this way may be correct. You know, such as let's bring one. Let's actually make an example which seemeth right unto man, but actually leadeth unto death. So a common one, obviously, this this hot topic of gender, you know, thinking that you can flip in, just change that or change your own sex. People are gonna think that, you know, it's not that it's all right and all that. No, it's not all right. According to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, as the Lord says, man, that if a man life with mankind or dresses the way a woman, if a man dresses as a woman dresses, that is an abomination unto Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, and it should not be so. Vice versa with the woman wearing what a man wears. So of course that's not righteous, man. That is not righteous. But yeah, can't. So that's the point right there. And also, let me bring out another example as well. You know, a way that seemeth right unto man, but it's not actually right, but leadeth unto death. Let's think of another one. There's several examples, man. Obviously, I just got to think of them. Let's see. That seemeth right unto man. Again, going into the idols, you know, the Christian church, many people think that they already gained salvation. They think they're already saved. So of course, oh shut up here. But yes, of course, you know, they're not actually saved, man. That's the point. They're not saved. So okay, I was just checking if I'm blocking the mic. So, you know, if I'm blocking the mic, you can't really hear me. But anyways, the point being is, you know, that's another way of which they think is right, but it's not right, man. It's not right. What else? There's another one too. There's another one. Wait. Another one. Yes, this one. This was the one. This is one. So lucky. I had to dig deep in my brain for that one. But basically, that school as well, man. You know the way the scripture that says, I think in Proverbs 22, talking about the fact that bring up a child the way he should go. The thing is, in this society, you can't really do that because most Jake parents, they be putting their child to school, you know, letting Esau and Edom pretty much rewire their brain, how they think. That's the thing. So of course, back in the day, parents used to actually teach their children. So of course, going back to the point is that, you know, that's another way that's not right unto man. And anyways, if you really think about it too, this whole system's gonna go, it's just gonna die down anyways. You know, the whole education system is all gonna die down. No one's gonna be going to school, college, university, high school, whatever type of education system that you're in currently. No one's gonna be doing that back in the time of Jacob's trouble, man. Yeah, Jake, you know, partying around right now. Don't know if you can hear the music, but yeah. Anyways, I think I'll do my last precept then, you know, close out. Yeah, that's the point, man. You know, it says, going back to Proverbs 14 verse 8, the wisdom of the prudent is to understand his way. And of course, we got to understand our ways as well, and what we're supposed to be prioritizing. And that's basically the fear of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Of course, if you don't understand your way, how then are you supposed to decide which way is actually the right path to follow? You know, Jake think that, you know, he's on something, but he's not actually on something. You're just working in vain. That's really what it is. You know, as it says, the works of this world are vanity, or start chasing the wind. These ants, man. Salak. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Let me get this reference too. It says the joke will be flipped on them. Going back to the topic, man. All these people mocking you, make you feel weird. You know, as I said, we're fools for Yahweh's sake, man. It actually means something. We're fools for Yahweh's sake, which means obviously we're going to be mocked. Now let's let me get it. Alright, Genesis 37 verse 5 to Genesis 1, Alright, it's the same way, you know, like you say certain things, then of course you may get hate back. And this is an example as well, just like the way Joseph had a dream of him pretty much ruling over all of them, his family. Which of course, yeah, obviously if you were to hear that, things, you know, Jay will be like, what in the world, man? What in the world? But of course, it's all prophecy. It's all prophecy, and then Joseph has to actually achieve that too. And that's the thing. So let me get Genesis 37. 37 verse 5. It says, and Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told it his brethren, and they hated him yet more. So of course, again, just the quick point to refer to the fact that, you know, we may preach the truth onto our family or friends, but of course we may get hate after that too. So of course, you know, they may either take that as a joke, or they genuinely will show that hate. So again, that's why we've got to stay strong, man. And how about Shimi Osha? Because we know that that's not going to be forever. They won't be taking us as a joke forever as well. So yeah, man, the joke's going to be flipped on them. So that's pretty much it. Yeah, about Shimi Osha. If I don't upload this early, then it's because I'm probably editing it. But yeah, anyways, Shalawah Makim. And obviously, Kahalan Mlawi, how about Shimi Osha, about Shimi Kodash. And double honest to the great Muslim apostles as well. I don't know why that time was that accurate, you know, because, you know, I was basically saying Kahala and Imla, then you just hear flipping Jake clear his throat. Anyway, so like maybe I'm just getting too touchy. But yeah, my emotions. But anyways, Kahala and Imla, Yahaba Shem Yashaba Shem Kodash, or double honest to the great Muslim apostles. Aman. That could have been a demon as well, dude. Because that was Jake, you know, he's going out for his little run. Anyways, yeah, as I said, I could be overthinking it, but yeah, Shalom, Thought that y'all share for giving me the strength in order to make this video. Thought that y'all Shalom.